Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is David Benjamin from Healthy Wild Free. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you a how-to guide and how to get started journaling, a step-by-step guide to take journaling and make it something that's impactful in your life for your mental health and your emotional health and really your spiritual health as well. Now, I've been personally journaling for over 10 years and I've had maybe 5, 6, 7 journals. I don't even know. I have a bunch of journals. I have a whole stack of them now. And I just started a new journal the other day, and I realized that journaling is such a powerful and helpful tool for mental and emotional health, and there's certain frameworks that I have utilized that I'm going to share with you in this video that will help you if you're getting started journaling or you want to utilize journaling as a tool, as a mechanism to support your mental health and your emotional health. Then that's what you're going to learn in this video. So, kind of a caveat before I share the contents of this video. I have never been to a therapist in my life. I am a 35-year-old man, and does that mean that I should have not had therapy at certain points in my life? Definitely not. There were definitely points in my life where I had low lows, where I could have definitely used a therapist or some sort of professional in regards to mental and emotional health and well-being. But thankfully, I've had healthy people in my corner, in my family and friend circle, that have supported me in my mental and emotional health along that journey. And because of that and journaling, I feel very grounded and balanced today. And I believe part of that too is my spiritual walk as well, which I'm sure I'll talk about in future videos. So in regards to journaling, there are certain things that you need to know. First things first is that in our everyday lives, we are busy and our head is full of thoughts, right? So we think about what we need to do. We think about traffic. We think about work. We think about stress, bills. All of these things are occurring in our mind at any given time. We think about our relationships. We think about people. Oh, did they judge me? Did they think of me in a weird way? We think about all these things. We have so much going on in our brain. And the problem with that is that there's this saying that my mom actually uses, and you probably may have heard in other places as well. And the saying is, if you're in your head, you're dead. In other words, what that means is that if you're too much in your head, if you think too much, it causes sort of this death. It sort of robs life from you because everything in life is happening all around you at any given time. And it's very difficult to live in the present moment and to enjoy life and to be healthy and happy if you're always kind of constantly in that paralysis by analysis state. So what's great about journaling is that it's a tool, it's a mechanism to remove and sort of do a brain dump and remove those things from your mind and get into a better place mentally and emotionally so that you can be more clear and have more clarity, be more level-headed, and make decisions from a place of understanding as opposed to a place of all that's going on up here and kind of having all these crazy thoughts, perspectives, and judgments and emotions that are navigating your life. So it helps to remove those things and put them on paper so that you can move forward and act with more clarity in life. So with that being said, imagine your head full of thoughts, emotions, and your worries and anxieties, your past and your future. That's also a component of it, where we go back into the past or we go forward into the future instead of kind of being in this present moment and living right here, right now. And then we also have emotions. So we have the whole scale of negative to positive emotions. So this is all going on. It's all playing in our brain at any given time. And this is obviously going to affect your mental and emotional health. So what I like to describe journaling as is I describe it as a processing tool. So what that means is that out of everything I just discussed, the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, thinking about the past, thinking about the future, the anxieties, the worries, thinking about what other people think about you, all these crazy things that go on in our head, journaling is a processing tool. What journaling does is it takes everything that's going on in here and it processes it so that it can be removed from your head and removed from your psychology. And then you can, once again, operate in clarity. So the two frameworks I want to give you in this video that have been really impactful and powerful for me is the first one is just sort of my go-to journaling mechanism or my go-to journaling protocol. And that protocol is very simple. You write the date, so whatever the day is, because you want to record the date. And the reason you want to record the date is because going back and reading, it'll give you perspective and it'll allow you to see the progress that you've made as a human being. And that's very valuable because in different seasons of our life, we go through different things. And if we don't see how we've grown, we're not going to acknowledge or see that growth and then we feel more hopeless, and those negative emotions that have potentially pervaded our mind become stronger and grow over time. So we want to weaken those negative thoughts, and we do that by recording the date. So start with the date, and then simply sharing your thoughts next. So I'll write the date. So November 15th, 2024, or November, December, whatever the date is, write the date, share that date, and then simply start writing your thoughts. And the reason this is so valuable is because you're writing the date and you're writing your thoughts. So whatever's on your mind, it doesn't matter what it is. And it could be like, today it's kind of like, you could start with the weather. You could start with something that happened at your work. You could start with, I had this amazing breakfast. I cooked up like 6 eggs and pepper jack cheese and some garlic and jalapenos and hot sauce. And that's for me, that's a great breakfast. So you just literally start by writing what your day is. So date, thoughts, and perspectives. Now the next one is perspective. So after you're writing your thoughts, you get your thoughts out, you do a brain dump and get rid of your thoughts. The next thing you do is you write the perspectives of that. So whatever your thoughts are, when you get those thoughts on paper, you can then write a perspective of those thoughts. So what that means is that if the thoughts are sort of like, oh, I had a great breakfast, you don't really need to write a perspective on that. But if you're writing a thought about something, you start with whatever your thoughts are, whatever's on your mind, whatever's top of the surface, right? But then as you go deeper, as you continue writing, you might write about a social encounter that you had at work, or a social encounter you had at the gym, or whatever it may be. And as you write about that, you're writing that thought out, so you're getting that out, because there's going to be a perspective that you have of that experience, and that's the soil, that's what the depth that you're trying to get to. So after you write the date, you write the thoughts, kind of what's on your mind, what's going on, and then you write the perspective of the thoughts that have depth or meaning. So the things that have mental health or emotional health contingencies or tangents off of those thoughts, you branch off of those and you write the perspectives on those. And the reason that's valuable and the reason that's important is because oftentimes when we go through experiences in life, our thoughts and our emotions they override whatever occurred. And if we don't step back and have a healthy perspective of that account of whatever occurred, then those thoughts and emotions, which can potentially be very negative or even harmful to us, become our beliefs. So if your thoughts and your emotions are negative and those become your beliefs, that then becomes your identity. And your identity, when rooted in negativity or trauma or whatever it may be, is not a positive thing, obviously. So what's beautiful about journaling is you get the thoughts out and then you write the perspectives on those thoughts. So for example, you could have had something happen with someone where you feel like they offended you or they did something to harm you, and you can write the perspective on that. And as you write that thought out, the perspective can shift as you're writing it, because you can start to understand, oh, well, they're coming from this perspective. They have this sort of thought process or mentality, or this is how they were raised, or this is their perspective on life. So perhaps this is why they acted in this manner. And it's not that you justify the wrongdoing of others, but it allows you a path. It allows you a roadway to forgiveness, which leads me to my next point. So the first framework is very simple. Date, thoughts, perspectives. Just remember DTP. Dates, thoughts, perspectives. So that's a good framework to follow. The next one is really just understanding that your journal is a great reflection tool. So in life, there are 2 things, well, really 3 things. God, number 1. But number 2 and number 3 are, number 2, your relationship with others, and number 3, your journal. These 3 things in life will give you more of a perspective. These are mirrors for your psyche. These are mirrors for your emotions. These are mirrors for things in your life that change who you are as a human being. And if you don't have these mirrors, if you don't have a relationship with God, if you don't have a relationship with other humans that can mirror for you, and if you don't have a journal where you're literally mirroring yourself, that's what a journal is if you use it properly, then the self-growth and self-reflection part of your life, which is incredibly important for who you become as a human being, gets put to the wayside, and you miss out on all these beautiful growth opportunities. So your journal is a self-reflection tool. Think of it as a mirror. Your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your beliefs, whatever you're feeling, put that on paper and let it reflect back to you. And then even as you write it and read it, you'll continue to write further and kind of process that further. So the next formula or framework that I really like with journaling is that you can utilize it as a tool to process the past and write, quite literally direct, like a director would of a film, your future. So I've used it as an incredible tool when I've gone through difficult seasons of my life, difficult relationships, financial loss, heartbreak, whatever it may be. Anything that I have lost in my life or processed and I don't feel like I've fully processed, I go to my journal and I write about it. I process it in my journal. I literally work through thoughts, feelings, emotions, beliefs, self-identity, all of these things that a lot of people get stuck in their head with. Once again, you're in your head, you're dead. I put that on paper, and when I put that on paper, I release it and I let it go. So there's spiritual significance in the releasing. It's cathartic. You get to release things from your being, from your body that are not meant to be in your body, right? So your body holds these negative emotions. It stores them. So you get to release that and let it go. So write your past, let the past go on paper, but then also use it as a tool, as a framework to direct and navigate and paint a beautiful picture for the future of your life. So that's another great framework that I've utilized, processing the past and directing the future. And last but not least, there are really two other sort of beautiful, beneficial aspects of journaling that I would recommend that you do. And that is number one, forgiveness. Forgiveness is one of the most difficult things that any human heart can possibly do. You can go to the gym and bench press or squat 1,000 pounds, but for some people, it's more challenging to forgive someone who hurt them than it is to go to the gym and lift a ridiculous amount of weight. And that's because in order to forgive, we have to find peace. We have to be okay. We have to have peace and process that. So forgiveness is an incredibly valuable tool, and it honestly hurts my heart that there's a lot of therapists that operate, and this is actually what turned me on to therapists at one point in my life, is I went on a date with a therapist, and she told me I had these different psychological conditions, and I literally laughed at her at the date because I was like, I know I'm good. I'm fine. At least at the time I was, and I still am now. And years later, I asked that same therapist, I said, hey, do you talk to your clients, your patients about forgiveness? And she said, no. And I was like, what are you doing? This is literally one of the most important things for emotional health. Arguably the most important thing for emotional health is to forgive. So I've used my journal to forgive people that have betrayed me, wronged me, taken money from me, broken my heart, physically attacked me. I mean, I've literally used my journal as a self-reflection tool, as a mirror, to find forgiveness in my heart, which has given me a tremendous amount of peace because it is, once again, a spiritually healing modality. Forgiveness is a spiritual healing modality. So use it as a tool to forgive, but also use it as a tool for prayer. And what I mean by that is, I believe meditation and prayer are two of the most powerful spiritual processes that anyone can engage or activate within their lives. Meditation being listening, praying being speaking. Two sides of the same coin, but both valuable in their own respective ways. And I've used my journal at times to just simply pray, because sometimes I feel like I've had points in my life where I've been like, I want to pray, but I don't know what to say. And sometimes the words don't come to me in my head, or I don't really have what I feel like I need to pray, so to speak. But when I start writing and I'm like, okay, I'm writing to God right now. I'm literally writing to Abba Father. I'm literally writing to God. And whether you believe in God or not is irrelevant. If you can use your journal as a tool to pray, you're letting things go that your body doesn't need to hold, that your emotions don't need to hold. The negativities, the pain, the trauma, the suffering, all these types of things. So your journal is a tool, so self-reflection, it's a mirror, right? Just like another human being is a mirror, it's a mirror that I can use to see myself more clearly. And I have found that a lot of difficult seasons and things in my life, I've learned to process with more grace and more ease. And I have quite literally used it, for goals as well. So getting rid of the past, embracing the future, and it's just been a tremendously valuable tool. So I hope this video was valuable for you. I hope these frameworks were valuable. I hope this gives you some insight as to how you can begin journaling and utilize this in your life for your mental and emotional health. Usually on this channel, I talk about nutrition and diet and things like that. But honestly, I think mental and emotional health these are areas that I have probably more expertise in than even health and nutrition physically. So I'll probably be talking about these things more in the future. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed it, or if you have questions, you want to get started, leave your comments below. I will respond to your comments. Leave your comments below. Leave a like, subscribe to this channel for future videos, and make sure to live healthy, wild, and free. Peace.